Hello, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any of you watching. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another book review. Today I am doing a review of this book, which is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi Dare. Again, I will, as usual, insert a picture of the cover in color. Yeah, so I started recording and my memory card just flipped out on me, so I don't know if it recorded anything, and so I'll just start again. So annoying. I was really on a roll. So I hope I can remember everything that I was saying. This book is by Abi Dare. Again, I don't know much about the author, so forgive me again. I need to do my research more on the authors as well as the stories. But I really absolutely had to do this book review today. So as you can notice, I am in a very different setup. I was a bit hesitant to come and make this video because it's a bit of a public place, but I really just had to get it out there. And especially because I just finished reading the book, and so it's still fresh in my mind, and I felt like if I waited any longer, so say next week I'm going on a work trip, and so I won't have time to record until the following weekend, and I just had to get it out because I feel like the story deserves if I waited any longer to share this book review with you guys, I think I would have been a bit more like, but then right now I'm still feeling all the emotions from reading the book, and so yeah, let me just jump straight in. First and foremost, if you do not get anything more from this book review, if you click out after a couple of minutes and you don't watch to the end, just know this one thing. First of all, I highly recommend reading this book. It was amazing. It was really one of those, especially when you get into the story. I was walking around the house like this with the book in my hand. I didn't want to put it down. I was staying up late to read it, and when I finished it, I didn't know what to do with myself. It was one of those books. I really was just sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to read next? Can it even match up to the greatness that is The Girl with the Louding Voice? Yeah, so this book is amazing, and I'm going to tell you why, so I hope you don't click out because yeah, it's a lot. First and foremost, the title obviously is quite unconventional. What on earth does it mean to have a louding voice? And in a nutshell, it makes so much sense. I think it could not have had a better title. In a nutshell, it's about this girl. The story is of a girl called Aduni, who is a village girl, who she grows up. It's set in Nigeria, and so it's basically telling her life story. But it's quite a sad story, and it isn't at the same time, because this girl is she's forced to grow up before her time. She's a very young girl, and yet at a young age she becomes someone's wife, and she has to fend for herself, and she has to find her way in the world, which is quite sad because it's like she should be a child, she should be in school, and that's basically what she's saying in the story, to say, I want a louding voice, I want to be educated so that I can go out into the world and I can help other people. That was her, that's all she wanted, and yet it took so much for her to get something as basic as education, which a lot of us just take for granted. So that's the first part. The story is written in Pidgin English, and so yeah, like I said, it's set in Nigeria. So if you're a person who did not grow up in Nigeria or doesn't speak Pidgin English, it does take a bit of wrapping your head around. That's one thing I didn't know about the story when I bought it, and so I was quite taken aback in the first couple of pages. I was thinking, what on earth? I don't understand, or not really that I didn't understand. It's clear enough that you can understand, but I was just thinking, am I going to be able to read this whole book if it's narrated in this way? But then I got used to it pretty quickly. In a couple of pages I was quite used to it, and it actually makes the story, it had to have been written in that way for you to understand this character, this amazing character that is this girl Aduni. And it's interesting because as you go along through the book, she actually becomes better because she's learning more, she's putting her mind to it, she's being exposed to so much more, and so her English does get better. But one of the things that she mentions, which also the book aims to highlight, is that you don't have to be like, English is not education. Basically, bottom line, English is not education. Just because you can speak English doesn't mean that you're intelligent. It doesn't mean that you are smart or quick-witted or anything along those lines. You can speak English, but it doesn't mean, like, or if you can't speak English, it doesn't mean that you are not intelligent or do not have that capacity to think or to reason and so on. And so that is, I think, one of the reasons why the book was written in this way, because this girl is actually, she reasons quite a lot, and she thinks, and she's very curious, and she wants to explore the world, and she does not let her English limit her, or her lack of English knowledge limit her. She's always open to learn more. So she's a girl who is pushed by the world, and she's pressured, and yet she pushes back because she wants to get an education. And like I said, her journey it's so interesting, because she goes through so much, and she's surrounded by so many views, and she meets so many other women along the way, or other girls along the way, who have different stories. And she learns from each and every one of them, and she tries her best to help each of them. And a lot of the story is talking about how there's this in certain countries, where child marriages are still common, or certain cultures where it's okay, or where it's not seen as important to educate a girl but to educate boys. And the ultimate goal for a girl or for a woman is to marry, and to marry, and that is the ultimate value of success. And so many stories that so many people that she encounters in the story are people who are, they're successful business wise, or they're educated, and yet they don't feel like they've arrived, because they want to be married, or they want to have a perfect marriage, or they're willing to stay in a marriage that is abusive towards them, because that is like the ultimate goal, regardless of whatever else they've achieved. And she questions that, and she's constantly wondering why people, or like the people that she comes into contact with, are living their lives this way. And she really goes through a lot. She goes through what her mother has told her. What her mother used to tell her when she was younger is something that sticks with her. And so it also just highlights the importance of affirmations, and speaking good things to your children, and raising them in ways that they know to value. What are the most important things to value? Hello again. I know I was interrupted, and so I was not able to finish the review earlier, but I really just wanted to wrap it up today. So it's the end of the day, but I just wanted to add on a few comments and wrap up the video. So first of all, what did I end up saying? I was talking about how her mother's words stuck with her, and how that was an important aspect of the book, because it's something that kept her going. And even with the other characters, you get to see that cliche saying about how hurt people, and how there were people who, like her boss, Big Madame, who treated her in such a terrible manner, which is inexcusable, but you get to see where it's coming from, because she had a background of hurt, and so she was projecting that onto Aduni, which wasn't fair, but it really just highlighted the importance of doing good to people. Even the person who her mother helped when she was younger, so she used to help this old lady, and it actually paid off, because that lady came back to help Aduni. So it was just focusing on both aspects, encouraging you to do good to other people, and that you will see the benefits of that. But if people who have been hurt tend to end up hurting other people. It just highlights on so many things. Another aspect being the way you treat your workers, and you might treat them in a way because you feel like you're superior to them, but then you're unaware of where they're actually coming from and what struggles they might have faced. And so it's just important to treat humans as humans. You're not superior to anyone else, but like, everyone has a story, everyone has a valid story and a valid life, and it shouldn't be disregarded by somebody else who feels like they've got more power. Yeah, so I don't know how much I can stress that this book is actually a must read, as in I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. I would give it maybe, like, I would even go as far as giving it a 5 out of 5 because it was really good. And it's a good must read. It's a good read for women, but also for men, to see how some of their actions might be perceived. And there's so many different male characters in the book as well, who I won't go into the details of right now, but just the behavior of them, and just how sometimes it made it difficult for Aduni and for other women to thrive. It is a really, truly amazing book. And it evokes a lot of emotions. You will want to laugh. You want to laugh. You might want to cry. It's just so many emotions that you're feeling, and not just of Aduni, but also of other characters as well. There's so many different stories that are interwoven to create this masterpiece that is The Girl with the Louding Voice. So, like I said in the beginning, it is a heartbreaking story, but it is also very inspiring. Because regardless of everything, she persisted, and she was able to overcome in the end. And so it's a heroic tale for other girls who might read it, or even for women to say, if Aduni could do it, then I can do it as well. I can achieve my goals, I can dream big, and I can, not to say that it's going to come easily or that it's going to come without its challenges, but it is possible to achieve something as long as you put your mind to it and you work hard for it. You might have to work. You will, as women, we do have to work harder than men in most instances, I'd say. But it's still like, it just makes you feel all the more accomplished for what you get at the end of it. Yeah. So anyway, that brings me to the end of this book review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you do go out and read this book because it's truly amazing. Yeah, definitely would recommend it, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.